tweeting about the WNBA for 15 years, long before some of y'all even watched a WNBA game. He tweets one tweet about a player getting a triple-double, and y'all calling him every name under the sun. I'm the last person to defend Braun.
LeBron James just said something so wild. Caitlin Clark looked like she got hit with a full-court buzzer beater. Emotionally fresh into the WNBA and already catching strays from the king himself. Yep, whatever he said had her blinking like her mic was muted. Was it a compliment of backhanded slap in emoji form or just classic LeBron being cryptic and chaotic? One thing's clear, Caitlin didn't see it coming. And now the internet's in flames. Get ready. This one's nuclear.
Before the game, LeBron tweeted a photo and a message. I think that was from when the Lakers were here for the first time. I believe that was your first time meeting. What's that relationship like now as you two Nike athletes are building something special?
Well, I don't really get too starstruck from people, and that was a moment that I was pretty. I knew I was going to meet him when I was coming to the game, and that's one of my idols. LeBron is the GOAT to me, so I don't know. It's just a crazy moment where I got to.
Caitlin Clark is the reason why a lot of great things is going to happen for the WNBA. But for her individually, I don't think she should get involved on nothing that's being said. Just go, have fun, enjoy, but I'm rooting for Caitlin because I've been in that.
So LeBron James decided to do the unthinkable. No, he didn't announce another version of Space Jam. Calm down. He simply said something positive about Caitlin Clark. That was the entire crime the king dared to give props to the queen of the WNBA. And suddenly it was like he walked into a hornet's nest wearing a jersey made of honey. People lost their minds faster than Angel Reese on a missed call.
Now yesterday, he kicked off by saying, hey, great way to kick off the season, and he congratulated her on getting a triple-double. But nevertheless, after this situation between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese came out tweeting of him and said, Jordan never lost in the finals. It's no secret that Angel Reese does dislike for LeBron James as well, because he supports Caitlin Clark.
And let's be real, the moment LeBron mentioned Caitlin Clark, the entire sports world hit DEFCON petty. Suddenly, Twitter looked like a bad group chat filled with professional jealousy, courtside tears, and the wildest case of main character syndrome the WNBA has ever seen, because apparently giving props to a woman who dropped absolute heat in her first game is now offensive. Somewhere out there, Angel Reese is furiously chewing her gum into powder while side-eyeing her phone like it betrayed her zero.
And the WNBA is in a very, very concerning place because they're dealing with new fans that have come into their league that want to support a particular team, but now you are letting the mob dictate what it is you're going to look.
Caitlin Clark didn't just show up for her first game. She arrived like a Category 5 bulletin. She torched the Chicago sky like they owed her money. Crossovers crisp enough to slice onions, deep threes, like she had Wi-Fi from the parking lot and court, vision that made defenders look like extras in her highlight reel. And yet there she was, post-game still getting lukewarm praise while her haters grilled anyone with the audacity to say she was, good at basketball.
So, LeBron James was facing backlash because of his support of Caitlin Clark. We all know that LeBron James has been a huge supporter of Caitlin Clark since the beginning, since she came in the league. And he definitely despises.
Meanwhile, LeBron, the man who knows a thing or two about pressure and spotlight, simply states the obvious. Caitlin Clark is special Q. The meltdown social media exploded like someone told the world pizza was canceled. Suddenly, LeBron wasn't a four-time NBA champ or a global icon, nope. He was now public enemy number one for saying what literally anyone with functioning eyes could see.
Game of the WNBA season, Caitlin Clark pulled off a triple-double. She was dropping buckets, and she was dishing it out. Look at this dime she threw off the outside. And did you see this deep three she hit from the logo? It's just her second season in the fever.
The backlash was so wild you'd think he announced he was buying the WNBA, and renaming it the Caitlin Clark Invitational. Angel Reese fans acted like LeBron had personally stolen their lunch money and used it to buy front row seats to a Clark game. The outrage was Olympic level. People were reaching so hard to discredit Caitlin they pulled muscles they didn't know existed. And let's not ignore the obvious. Caitlin Clark's performance was a masterclass. Her debut wasn't just solid. It was a full-blown statement wrapped in confidence and sealed with a jumper. She outplayed half the league while adjusting to new teammates, new pace, and a whole new level of scrutiny. But does she get her flowers? Barely. She gets weeds with a few thorns tossed, and why? Because she's disrupting the status quo. The narrative was never ready for a rookie to walk in and dominate like she'd been playing professionally since kindergarten, and the veterans were supposed to gently guide her, humble her, maybe even ignore her instead. She's out here rewriting the script like it's a group project, and she's the only one who showed up, and the most offended by this sudden rewriting of WNBA hierarchy, you guessed it. Angel Reese, who despite being praised for personality and energy is now watching the entire spotlight swivel dramatically to her least favorite person in sneakers. It's like Caitlin walked in, took the throne, and Reese is stuck clapping from the nosebleeds.
You be real loud for this white woman, King James. Tasteless. After what happened yesterday, now I see what Drake was saying. Crazy world. So apparently, LeBron James has officially lost his black card. He wanted to come do something. Listen, the next brother that gets shot by a cop, I guarantee you LeBron's gonna probably tweet about it, or he's gonna post on IG about it. I don't care who that brother is. LeBron's probably got a like harrowing the police scanners. Yo.
Let's talk numbers. Caitlin Clark's stats weren't just impressive, they were borderline disrespectful. It was like watching an algebra prodigy show up to a kindergartner's math class and get graded on effort. Meanwhile, other players of Hem Angel are posting pedestrian box scores and then throwing fits when the cameras point at someone who actually delivered. Now, the real tragedy here isn't that Caitlin is being praised. It's that the bar for praise is apparently located in the Mariana Trench. If you're a successful white woman in the WNBA, every time she scores, it feels like half the league holds an emergency meeting to figure out how to make it about themselves. And it doesn't help that the praise she does get becomes a battleground. Anyone who compliments her, be it LeBron or your Aunt Cheryl, suddenly becomes a target. You'd think Caitlin was building her fan base on the bones of fallen veterans the way people react. All LeBron did was say something mildly supportive, and you'd think he endorsed Arson Angel Reese instead of focusing on her own game. Seems stuck in a Caitlin Clark obsession spiral. Every mention of Clark feels like an existential crisis for Reese, who's now trying to prove her worth by being loud instead of being lethal. And fans are starting to notice loud doesn't equal legendary. Because here's the thing about Caitlin Clark. She doesn't need the drama. She doesn't need the antics. She just hoops. No gimmicks. No excuses. No Twitter feuds. She shows up, drains buckets, and lets her game clap back. It's not arrogance, it's excellence, and some people just can't handle that.
So sick of this Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese hypocrisy. LeBron James put out a tweet yesterday shouting out Caitlin Clark, and the amount of backlash that he received for essentially celebrating Caitlin Clark's historic night instead of talking about Angel Reese is crazy to me. I'll tell you what, how about we stop hating on Caitlin Clark and start holding Angel Reese accountable to becoming a better...
Now let's get one thing straight. This isn't just a sports rivalry anymore. This is ego warfare dressed in sneakers and jersey numbers. And while Caitlin is out there making history, Angel seems content, trying to rewrite hers with press clippings and passive-aggressive social media likes. The whole situation has become so absurd that fans are picking sides, like it's a Marvel versus DC debate. Team Clark wants to talk about stats, talent, and legacy. Team Reese wants to talk about attitude, vibes, and who wore what to the tunnel walk. It's less basketball analysis, more Real Housewives hardwood edition. And let's circle back to LeBron one more time. The man's been a walking target for years, but even he looks surprised by how quickly the knives came out over a compliment. You know it's bad when a dude who's been booed in 30 arenas is like, wow, tough crowd. So Caitlin Clark, after tearing through her first professional game like a buzzsaw through cardboard, still has to deal with people acting like she lucked into her talent. The same people who trip over themselves to praise others for half the output are suddenly experts in humility and fairness. It's laughable. Bottom line, Caitlin Clark is here to stay. She's not some flash-in-the-pan social media darling. She's a full-blown game share, and the more people try to discredit her, the more they reveal their own insecurities, because if your game was as strong as your Twitter fingers, maybe you'd be getting the praise instead. So,
There's not that many people that can relate to everything that she's been through. There's not that many folks that know what it's like to be in her shoes, but someone that does is LeBron James, right? And here is what he told Esquire when he was asked about Caitlin Clark. He said, I have a great deal of respect for her because I know exactly what it means to be drafted, to be the face of a franchise, and also get the scrutiny from a lot of people that don't believe you're ready for the next.
LeBron said good luck and do you her usual this season at Caitlin Clark. Pretty benign statement. He didn't say great job kicking Angel Reese's butt. Yeah, man. Thanks, Whitey, for sticking it to the sisters. Oh, man. Straight hair over nappy hair. Like, I mean, he didn't say none of that. But hey, let's keep pretending that cheering for Clark is controversial. Let's pretend LeBron committed a felony. Let's act like giving credit to someone who deserves it is a cardinal sin. Meanwhile, Caitlin will just keep pulling up from the logo, rewriting history and watching the haters melt like ice cubes in July. And if Angel Ree wants to stop looking like a side character in Caitlin's story, she might want to spend a little less time on theatrics and a little more time on the playbook, because right now Clark's playing chess. Everyone else is playing Candyland. Meanwhile, in the theater of the absurd that a sports commentary, the goalposts keep moving faster than Caitlin Clark's first step. First, they said she couldn't hang with the pros, then she did. So they said she only had one good game, then she dropped another highlight reel. So now the narrative is that she's overhyped. The woman is dropping dimes so precise they should be displayed in the L. And we're out here debating if she's marketed too well. That's not analysis, that's insecurity with a Wi-Fi connection. The real problem is that Caitlin Clark didn't ask for the crown. They handed it to her because she earned it. She didn't steal anyone's spotlight, she became the spotlight. And now everyone else is mad that they forgot their shades. Let's not kid ourselves. The backlash isn't about fairness or team dynamics. It's the same tired resentment that shows up every time a generational talent refuses to dim her own light to make others feel more comfortable.